In this video, we're going to talk about the IRS Form W4 if you're filling it out with dependents. And I want to go over a specific part for the dependents to make sure that you're doing it correctly. It's a common question that I get and also a common error. So I'm going to go through it so you don't make that same mistake. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, Certified Financial Planner, helping you reach your financial goals. So let's go ahead and start and jump right into the online estimator. And this is where the error is made, but you really should be using the online estimator because it's the most accurate way. Don't take my word for it. That's what the IRS says. So use the online estimator. So let me go ahead and pull it up and I'm going to just talk about this one specific error. Okay, so here is the online estimator, their tax withholding estimator. And this is what you want to use. So let's go to I'm going to go through it really quickly. I've gone through most of it already. So the first section, married filing jointly, we're going to say no one else can claim this as a dependent. We have two dependents. So that's what we're going to do in this walkthrough. Two dependents. We have one job. Of course, for you, put how many jobs that you have and your spouse has. This one I just said, I don't have a job and my spouse has a job. And then we're going to say no to pensions, no to everything else. Go to the next page. And then just start filling it out. You're going to need your most recent pay stub. So every 2 weeks, how often we get paid. Our last one ended on May 3rd. We're going to earn $100,000. Now, it's really important that you get that number right. So that is only what you're going to earn for 2021, not on an annual basis, but for 2021. Now, if you've worked at the job from January 1st to December 31st, then you could put on an annual basis because they're going to be exactly the same number. But if you just started it or started it later in the year or you ended it before the end of the year, then obviously that's going to be a different number. So just for this walkthrough, I'm going to put 100,000 is how much we're going to make in 2021 for this job. Now, these two numbers you're going to get down here using your last pay statement is your year-to-date withholdings and your last pay period withholdings. So I just threw in 500, 100 just to show you the example. Yours could be very different than those numbers. So if they are, you're not wrong. I'm probably wrong on this because I wanted to show you as an example. So here we have no 401k, no other pre-tax stuff. So we're just gonna say no and no, click next. Our adjustments, next. And we're gonna take the standard deduction, which is $25,100, click next. And next. Now, this is the most important page right here. So we have our expected tax withholding. What that means is if we don't do anything different, we can expect to withhold $2,200. Well, the problem with it is based on the information we provided, we're going to have a tax liability of $7,593. Means that we will be short $5,393. Means that we're going to end up owing at the end of the year if we don't make this adjustment. So we're going to scroll down a little bit further. And then you're going to see this little plus sign here, how to adjust your withholdings. Click on it. And then the link will be specifically for you. Now, most of it will look blank, so it might appear that it's not filled out at first glance. But let's go ahead and click on it. And let's go ahead and open this up. And we're going to see it filled out. Again, it doesn't look like it's filled out. Put in your basic information. But let's focus in on this section right here. Step 3, claim dependents. Now, you're looking at this saying, well, if your total income is below $200,000 for singles or $400 for married filing jointly, then I just have to multiply 2 by either $2,000 or if they're 17 and older by $500, right? No, it left it blank because you need to make a big adjustment. So you can see that it put 107 on line 4C. So it's making the adjustment for you. So you don't want to make any other changes as long as the information that you put in the estimator is accurate and correct. Now, if we go back, because here's where the error comes in. If we go back to the online estimator. So we put in the very beginning that we had two dependents, but those two dependents will qualify for some sort of a tax credit. Again, depending on if your income is below 200 or 400,000. Now, if we go over to the credit section, you need to make sure that you're looking at these credits. And then in the first section, the child and dependent related tax credits, here, enter the number of qualifying children under 17. Now, let's assume that they're both 2. So I'm going to put the 2 in there, and that's it for that because we have two dependents that are under the age of 17, so 16 and younger. Now it's made an adjustment. We can see it right here. Our anticipated has dropped to $4,593. And let's go ahead and a little further down and click on the new W4. Click on that and look at that. It made an adjustment. Now we'd only put numbers on step 3 for claiming dependents, and it put it at 2,101 because it's making another adjustment in the other direction to make sure that we're as accurate as possible. So just because you're looking at the directions and saying, okay, your total income is this, therefore we should just put it in there. If you're using the online estimator, go with what the online estimator says and don't add anything to it. You don't need to add anything to it. If you have multiple jobs, if you have a job and your spouse has a job, let the estimator do its thing and split it up for you and go with those answers. As long as your information is correct and it's accurate, then this output will also be accurate. But of course, if you miss something, then yeah, it's going to be messed up. But you shouldn't get to the end and just put all the other numbers or all the other information in there and then say, well, I do have two dependents, so I want to make sure that I'm claiming them, so I'm going to go through the math in step 3. Don't do that. Do what the online estimator says. And it says go through all of the prompts and then put the answer that it gives you at the very end. So that's what you want to do. So common error to miss the dependents or make that mistake. It's a question I get asked quite a bit. Hopefully that's helped. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.